Well, hello and welcome once again to the DCL podcast, where we're inviting you to sit back, relax, and we'll be on our way shortly. Well, welcome back to the DCL podcast, your podcast to help you and your family cruise a little smarter when the ships are sailing. And Christy is off on vacation. Chris is working tonight, so you just got me, but that's not too bad because we got a great guest tonight. Welcome back to the show, all the way from just north of Tampa. How you doing tonight, Chris?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Not too bad. Thank you so much for coming on, and looking forward to talking about your latest cruise. You were on a while ago. Could you remind everybody which cruise you took the last time?
Yeah, last time we took kind of the same thing as this one. We did a 4-night Bahamian cruise out of Port Canaveral to Nassau, Castaway Cay, and a day at sea. And we liked it so much that we did it again.
You're from the Florida area, and I guess we'll just jump into it this way. Did you rebook this cruise when you're on your last cruise, or do you take or do you try and do the Florida residency rates?
It's funny. So like when I was on here, I remember talking about how much I was kicking myself last time that I didn't do it. And it's weird I didn't even do it this time either. But the placeholder thing, I don't know why. The Florida resident deals are really generally really well. They're really good. They're priced really well. You get a really good discount. I know they always talk about, when it first comes out, that's like the lowest you're going to see the price, and then incrementally it'll go up as time goes on. But for being a Florida resident, and generally that's different, where it's if you're willing to wait and you're not picky about a stateroom, a particular stateroom. We waited, and we had the first week of February that we were going to do, but a better rate came out for the 24th to the 28th of February. So we wound up booking a Florida resident guaranteed veranda. Yeah, it was great. We lucked out and got an aft extended veranda. So my wife was really excited about that because she was wanting that the whole time, and that's what we wound up getting.
Oh, that's awesome. I've seen pictures of it. I've never seen them in person, but with that huge veranda back there, that's got to be pretty magical, huh?
Yeah, it is. It is. We were on ours wasn't as big as some of the other ones. It was still considered noticeably bigger. You could tell right when you walked out, the chairs were different. It was more like the black or the taller back chairs that we could recline back and everything like that. We were on deck 5, 5190. It was kind of cool. Our room, right when you walked out, you just look to the left and there's the camera that shows like for the magical porthole and stuff like that. That camera was right there. Right to our left, so it was cool. We got to watch that. We got to watch them put the flags up when we pull into port and stuff like that. So it's a great view, especially backing into Castaway. So
just to touch on the Florida residency rate just a little bit longer here. Yeah. So is that something you watch weekly? Because you kind of need the time frame where time frame when you wanted to sail. So like how far out was it that you found this rate? I guess.
Yeah, it was. They come out, they change and stuff. I know I've noticed usually it's Mondays where new rates will come out.
Okay.
And it was just about 3 months before, I would say. It was right around in November when we noticed it, right around Thanksgiving time, and we were looking at it. And then last year we booked it on Christmas Eve. This time we did it the day after Christmas, so we still kept it in that holiday of booking one. Yeah, we were looking at it through the whole month of December. But yeah, typically it's about 3 months. Some now it's a little different right now with everything going on, but yeah, it'll definitely it's usually around 3 months.
Okay. Well, so you guys live a little bit north of the Tampa area over there. Can you remind everybody who went on this cruise, and then how did you guys spend time in Port Canaveral before, or did you just drive over the day of the cruise?
Sure. Yeah. So it was me and my wife, and then our daughter Brooklyn. She's 5. Last time she was 4, and we had a little bit of an issue, but this time with her being 5, it was a much different experience. We didn't stay in Port Canaveral. It's about a 3-hour drive for us, so we just make the hike. We just leave it around 7:30, 8 o'clock, and we were in the terminal by 11, so it was perfect.
This is a 4-night Bahamian cruise on the Disney Dream. You guys sailed on the Dream last time.
Yes.
So kind of familiar with it. Driving over there, do you park there at the terminal? It seems like that's the easiest thing to do.
It is. It is the easiest thing. This time I was smart. Last time I didn't pull over to the porters. I just drove straight in and just got parked and lugged my bags over. But yeah, if you pull over to the right, let the guy know there's someone always directing traffic telling you where to go, so you can pull over to the right and you can meet with the porters there and then drop off your bags and then pull right into the parking garage, it's the best. I mean, you can't beat it. And I heard a lot of people telling me that instead of going downstairs, if you drop off your bags, just take the bridge that goes across the top. And I can't tell you, we walked along that bridge and we were through security, and it was like 2 minutes. There was no one up there. And the terminal was busy at that time. It was in the morning, and a lot of people were coming in. When I looked downstairs, I could see a lot of people were on the bottom floor. but there was maybe two couples in front of us, and we went through security and to check everything. A breeze, 2 minutes tops.
Yeah, that's an awesome tip, because last time we were there, we were down there with the masses, and I was watching just a couple people cross that bridge. You can see it as you're checking in.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I remember standing in that rotunda down there in the bottom, and there's not real good air circulation in there, and it was warm. I remember that the first time, and I was just like, wow, this is rough. And then when I heard someone say that, me and my wife were like, oh, let's try this. So we made sure we parked kind of by there, and we'll do that from now on for sure.
That's
great pictures from there too.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, in as far as parking too, you pay ahead of time, right? So when you come back off the ship, you can just jump in your car and leave.
Correct. Yeah. We paid right when we got to the port. We were able to pay. We did that right there with a card.
Okay. Well, you guys have been through the whole process as your second cruise. Anything as far as getting checked in this time and embarking? Because this is February 24th. It's kind of weird, like how much life has changed over the last couple of months.
Yeah.
So you kind of put yourself in that time frame of kind of pre-COVID, but it was on everybody's mind.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's crazy. And there were, obviously at that time, there were lots of rumblings, and it was starting to become more and more of a hot topic. There were questionnaires that we had to fill out when we got in there asking if we've traveled. Has anyone traveled through China in the last 14 days? Have you have any illnesses? Have you felt sick? Do you have a fever? All this stuff like that you had to fill out. That was really the extent of it. It was just a little white slip that we filled out. It was real quick. Check-in process was simple. We got boarding group 10. I mean, we were in at 11 and we were on the ship no later than 12. It was like 11:50 when we walked through. It was really easy. I heard when we got back, there were about 2 people that got denied boarding because their passports indicated that they traveled through China. And we knew coming in on the Facebook group, there was one person that said she had to cancel because she was coming from there and she has to travel through there. And she got communication from DCL that, they wouldn't allow her to board the ship. So she wrote in there that she had to cancel, but there may have been others who didn't catch that and unfortunately got turned away at the port.
I'm just kind of curious. We've never really done a show on Facebook. Over the DCL duo, those guys just recently did one of the Facebook groups, and I usually join the one for our cruise. What kind of information have you gotten from your 2 cruises that's really helped you from the Facebook group, or what's your experience with it?
I always like it afterwards. I always like seeing what other people what they experience afterwards. Going into it, it's always usually the same questions like, hey, what's the best place to stay in Port Canaveral, this and that. It is cool if you'd like to do like the meetups and stuff. We actually did Fish Extender. I made a joke about it last podcast, and yeah, we did it this
You're
one.
All in this time.
Yeah. We bit the bullet. It was actually very fun. Kid loved doing it. That was very fun. But having those communicate in that with Fish Extender groups and stuff like that was good. People just having different ideas, especially if you're going to do shore excursions and this and that. It's a good way to get information about shore excursions and stuff like that. I noticed a lot of talk about that.
Yeah, I found it really helpful, especially when you're new so you can ask all those newbie questions. There's so many people on there that have been on several cruises that are more than willing to help out generally. And so I always found it like a pretty good resource to do that. And it is, you're right, it's pretty fun to kind of see what people did afterwards too. And then people are posting their pictures and all that type of stuff. Yeah.
And I like to hear, certain experiences and, if they experience the same stuff we did or not. And yeah, it's always fun to just see people recap how their experience went.
So this is a 4-night sailing. You guys leave Port Canaveral on Monday, off to Nassau the next day, Castaway Cay the third day, and then you get a day at sea, which I think is awesome. I've never done one of these, but I'm guessing that was having that extra day was awesome, wasn't it?
That day at sea is great. Yep.
Yeah. So you guys get on. We talked a little bit about the room. How far out did you find out which room you were going to have?
Yeah, it's usually 2 weeks. Usually anyone that gets I've noticed that to be the trend on our first one. And it held true with this one as well. Usually right about the 2-week mark, you will be assigned your room. You'll get an email. It'll show up in your app, and you'll be able to you'll know what your room is there.
Anything else you want to touch on with your room? I got a weird question afterwards.
Gosh, no. I can't tell you enough. The view, having the wake as well, and great pictures of that, and the backing into Castaway. We didn't back into Nassau. I was hoping because I wanted to see if there were any like runners or anything that I could miss because that appeals to me. But other than that, I was a little disappointed I didn't get that. But it's a view you don't normally get, and you only see it on like a postcard or on on pictures and stuff like that. And can't tell you, pulling into Castaway with the sun rising and sitting out there with coffee and just watching them all dock up. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're like back by Cabanas or something like that, you really don't get that view, do you?
Right.
Or
No,
way up at the top of the ship.
All.
Yeah,
not at all.
So, one of the questions we get a lot from people is when your kids are smaller, whether they should book a balcony cabin because, they're afraid of their daughter or son, being out there on the balcony.
Right.
Did you have any concerns about that, or to be completely honest?
Honestly, absolutely none.
Okay.
Even the last one we did when she was 4, I'm the type of person when I book a hotel, I have to have a balcony, even in a hotel. I like that outdoor space. I like to be able to sit out, and she loves it as well. She'll always sit out with me for breakfast. We'll sit out there, we'll eat, and I'll drink coffee and stuff like that. And I know when I showed a picture of our balcony last cruise, I know my mom, I think she posted or said something to me like, "Oh my gosh, hopefully there's glass in front of those bars." I'm like, yes, of course there's a plexiglass going across the front part, because it does look really clear and you won't know it, but when you go up to it, like there's plexiglass or there's some sort of glass going across the front to where they can't like slip out or anything. So the doors are incredibly strong. I have a hard time the first day. I always have an issue trying to open up that thing, and my wife makes fun of me, but I was able to. There's no way a little kid's gonna get that thing pulled, and it takes a lot of strength.
Yeah. Those doors are. I think they do that. Well, probably they're designed that way on purpose for a bunch of different reasons. So
right.
Yeah. Anyways, I just want to get your perspective on that as well. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, cool.
One thing I will say, the aft. I'm sorry to cut you off. You do get a lot of motion in that back. We didn't deal much with rumbling. With the engines too much, but boy, the motion, especially the first night, we had it was like 45, 48 knots winds I saw on there, and man, it was pretty intense for a little bit there.
How was the motion sickness for you? Did you guys take anything for that, or your daughter?
Yeah, I bit the bullet. My wife didn't. She was fine. I don't even know if my kid isn't affected by that at all, which I kept like waiting to see and was wondering, but it's like she didn't even realize the boat was moving. Like it was kind of strange, but I did wind up taking the second night, I believe it was. I took Bonine. I took that, and actually this thing is in the day when I woke up, I took that just to be safe.
That's what we've used before with Bonine, and then the C-band. My wife will use the C-band sometimes too, but generally, like if you take it ahead of time, you're not going to have too many problems with it.
Right.
Most people, it's going to help you out, I guess. So let's talk about dining. Your daughter's a little bit older this time. Last time it was a little bit more challenging, I know, but it's amazing what a year's difference will make with kids. How did dining work out for you guys this time?
It was a lot more relaxing. She interacted a lot more with the servers and stuff, especially when they're trying to do the all the magic tricks, and they do the the interactions and stuff like that they do. She was talking back to them and trying to do her own magic trick at one point, like it was real comical to see, because I talked about in the last one, she's kind of shy, kind of reserved, and it was cool to see her out of her shell and really enjoying it and interacting. She absolutely loves dining. We love dining, so she's used to going to restaurants. She's always incredibly well behaved. It's still chicken tenders and French fries every night, but I mean, if she's happy, we're happy, so it's good.
Do you guys have a favorite dining room now that you've been on it twice? Man, Animators, Enchanted Garden, or?
It's so weird. So last time it was Royal Palace, hands down. It's fun. I like the ambiance of Enchanted Garden. I just like how it changes throughout the evening, how it's bright and then it goes into kind of like a little bit of a darkness and stuff like that. I enjoy that. Animators is always fun. It could be a little anxiety ridden if you don't want someone to come in. I mean, I saw some tables and they were doing stuff with the husband and the wife, and my wife's looking at me like that's not happening if they come here. So it's like trying to realize like how are you going to act if Crush tells you to do something and you don't want to do it. It's like, come on man, please don't do this to us. But yeah, they're all fun, but I prefer the look and the feel and the ambiance of Enchanted Garden for sure. Yeah,
I like that one. To be completely honest, it surprised me. I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. Does that make sense? Like I didn't think I was not gonna like it. It's just
right.
But you're right. The ambiance in there is kind of cool. So
yeah, it is how it changes and evolves, and the little flowers hanging from the top that change. It's just the water fountain in there. It's a real cool. It's just kind of relaxing in there.
Yeah. Did you guys sit near the water fountain? We always end up back in a corner for some reason.
No, we walked by it. No, we didn't. We were more by a window, which was cool. We weren't right on a window, but we were right by where we had good views. Usually in the Enchanted Garden and Royal Palace, we had good views. So it was nice to at least have a decent location.
How about Cabanas this time? At that point, had they made any changes to Cabanas when you guys? No. Okay.
No, they didn't. you notice a little bit more cleaning. I mean, they're always really clean, so it's like was it really a notice? I don't know. I've always, maybe I was just paying more attention to it because I knew kind of like what was going on. There were people wiping baseboards down all the time, like it was crazy in there. But Cabanas was still standard. Lots of people, no one was getting food free or anything like that. It was just the normal run of the mill. I mean, we did quite a few breakfasts there. We did lunch and stuff, the pirate buffet and all that, and it was still standard how it usually is.
I kind of wonder what they're going to do. I mean, obviously, it's not going to be a buffet like it's been when they start sailing again. So I'm kind of curious to see how that works out with the crowds. I
am too. Like, I know how they do Cabanas that for dinner some nights and stuff, especially on longer sailings, stuff like that. I wonder if that's going to become more of a permanent, as like another dining room to space people out. Maybe I'm wondering. That wouldn't surprise me at all.
Right. I'm totally curious about like how it's all going to work out.
I know. I want some info to come out. I really want to know.
Unfortunately. Well, anything else as far as dining? Did you guys go to Palo by any chance or Remy?
We didn't do Palo or Remy at all this time, or any specialty dining. We just stuck to the standard places. We did lunch in Royal Palace, and that was really good. We enjoyed it last cruise, and we did it again this one, and it was still really good.
Was that every day, or was that just the first day when you guys did that?
Oh no, the first day we did that was at Animators.
Okay.
And that was the same. That's I don't know. I give that a mulligan because I'm just like, well, they're turning over a ship. It's it's whatever. I don't go in expecting great. I'm just like I'm hungry. But at lunch though, during when you're at sea or when you're in port or whatever on those days, they're always really really good. And Royal Palace was really good.
Do they do a buffet at all when they do that?
Not for lunch. No, okay. It's sit down. It's plated. Yeah, they do real good pastas, and they got salads and sandwiches and stuff, but not standard stuff. It's a little bit higher, and they have real good portobello mushroom appetizer that's actually cold that I didn't expect to be cold, and with a balsamic glaze and a cheese. It was so good. So they have different options in there. It's really good.
I can't remember. It was like when we were in Enchanted Garden. I don't remember if it was on the last cruise or if we were on the Fantasy. It seemed like I saw like it almost looked like kind of the stuff that they use for buffet to set out. And so
right. I know they do that for breakfast. I know Enchanted Garden will be a buffet.
Gotcha.
Didn't see anything for lunch.
Okay, we've only done breakfast like that I guess on that last day when we usually get out of whatever restaurant you're at. But,
right.
So we've never gotten up and done breakfast in one of the restaurants like that. Well, let's turn to the kids club. So your daughter's a little bit older. She's the Ocean's Lab and Club. How was her experience this time?
She actually didn't go in them this time. We were wondering if she would. Had the van, we'd go by it here and there, but she actually didn't. She didn't really want to go in it. I feel like if she had some family members with her, she'd go. But just for her to go in there, she still was a little iffy about it.
I think, especially at that age, and it could be, everybody's kids are a little bit different, but it's so loud and busy in there. So, like, if your kid's a little bit more reticent, like, it makes it kind of tough, I think. So,
yeah, I think so too. She's also really she's real close with us and loves doing whatever we do or go wherever we go. She never wants to be left out of anything. So, I'm sure that probably played a little bit of a role in it as well.
Gotcha. Well, let's go there then. There's like so many different things to do on the Disney Dream and on these ships. What were some of the things that you guys enjoyed doing this time and you were looking forward to doing?
Well, we've always enjoyed trivia. That was like probably the first activity we did after we got our room. We went down to 687 and did trivia, and same thing on the night we had Pirate Night. We had trivia and we actually won. So that was awesome to get the medal. Yeah, we were really excited. Now, I'm not going to say it was 20 different teams vying for it, but I'm still proud of it nonetheless. But we won that one, so that was really fun.
Oh, good for you guys. So did your daughter help you out with those?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, she did. It was real cool, man. I love the cast on there. It's awesome. That's something about this cruise that I noticed even more so on this one than I did on the on our previous one. Was it just, I mean, the cast is always great, but they were really, really engaging, especially with her when they were reading the questions back. He just went right up to her with the microphone and was just asking the question and putting the microphone in her mouth, and we'd like whisper what we put and she'd do it, and then he'd make a real big deal if it was right and everything like that. So that was really fun for her, especially when we got the medals and everything. They made a big deal about it. So she really enjoyed that a lot. It was awesome.
What trivia was it?
The pirate trivia.
Oh, pirate trivia. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
So what other things did you guys get to do? I know we were talking a little bit before we started recording that you guys got to spend some more time like in the D Lounge and doing some things around in the evening.
Yeah, so that goes back to the evening. So we've done the stage shows. We've seen them before, and we were noticing at the evening there were, after dinner, you'd see like around right after main seating, we did main seating. So we'd see there was about 20 minutes after we got done eating, and then there would be a show. There was like a game show called Mirror Mirror, or there was How Well Do You Know Your Family on another night. The Mirror Mirror one, we really did. That was on the Nassau night. That was on the night in Nassau. So we went in there, and it's such a cool setting because it's so much more intimate than being in a theater that's 2 stories high or whatever, and quite a bit of people. This is tables and chairs, and they're all sprawled out. And my daughter and wife both encouraged me very loudly to get involved in the game. So I did, and I played and made somewhat of a fool of myself, and ran the wrong way when I wasn't supposed to. Running so fast I ran out of my shoe. But man, it was such an experience. And then my daughter screaming and laughing, and my wife just crying from laughter. It was so much fun. They divide the room up into the teams, so that I have half a section screaming at me I'm running the wrong way, and I had no idea. And oh man, it was so if I lost a shoe, they grabbed my shoe and made a joke with that. And Dopey was involved there, so you have characters there too who was involved in that show, the Mirror Mirror show. And it was just it's something I feel like that could always change because you always have different people. So as much as the stage shows are great, I don't feel like Golden Mickey's changes too much, So
no, once you've seen it, yeah.
Yeah, once you see it, you kind of seen it,
Yeah.
So it's cool that I feel like it's another option that if you've done those shows, it's a different option where you could go back and you could watch it, every cruise, and it's going to be different because you're going to have different people, different personalities competing and doing different things. So it was a pleasant surprise that I wasn't expected going in. That was probably the biggest surprise that I've come to love, and that I think we'll do every cruise now.
So let's go back. So how well you know your family is kind of like a trivia. So it's usually like one of the adults and one of the kids up there, and
right.
then and then they ask.
I didn't do that one.
Okay.
I had my hand raised. I did raise my hand. I was reluctant to that one, but we thank God we didn't get picked. I probably didn't put it as high as I probably could have, but we didn't get picked for that one.
But what is Mirror Mirror? What's the
Mirror Mirror? So it was cool. So there's there's 2 cast members and they're dressed up, and then they introduce Dopey and he comes out, and there's these 2 treasure chests. They get teams of 2. So it was me and this guy, and there were 4 teams on our side. So it was 8 of us, and then another 8 on another side divided up into teams. So there were 4 teams each of 2. The guy that was given the direction is over to the right. My chest is directly straight ahead of me on the left side of the room where I'm staring at, but I'm watching him. So when they say go, I don't go to my chest that's right in front. I run all the way to the right. I'm hopping over chairs. I'm knocking tables over because I'm trying to, and everyone is screaming, and they're like, "What are you doing? Your chest is right there." And everyone else is going to the other place, and it was just like, oh man, it was so embarrassing. But it was embarrassing, but it was really fun, and it was a good laugh for a while.
I think that's one of those things that, like, if you're willing to get out there and do that, and have a little bit of fun with the cast members, they love it. They love playing with you.
And they play into it. They engage, and they keep they make little nicknames. As I was walking out, she was making fun of Cinderella or something. So I was missing my shoe. So it was cool. It was a really good time. I will always do that. And the game's cool. You have a guy he grabs his vest, runs back, and then you got to run and get jewels, 4 jewels, and he has to put it on a wall. So we were color orange, so I had to dig for orange jewels out of this chest and then run back. And I caught up. It was a neck and neck race between me and this guy because I kicked my shoes off. I just started hauling. Yeah, unfortunately, came up just a little short. So,
but it almost becomes like like your serving team. Sometimes they're working at Cabanas the next day, right? So you you eat dinner with them, and then the next day they're at Cabanas. It's always kind of fun to run into them there. And,
it is,
and it's kind of the same thing with here. Like if you interact with the cast members there, then you see them around the ship, and they're probably calling you Cinderella up by the pool, or I'm not saying that happened to you, but it's
for sure.
That just like adds to the whole cruise. It's really a lot of fun.
It does.
Yeah, good on you guys. Well, now your daughter's like the perfect age for characters. Did you guys get to do some character experiences?
That's an understatement. Yeah, we probably did every character you could think of. She loves it. Loves getting the autographs. Loves doing all that. So we got tickets for like the Princess Gathering, the Anna and Elsa meet and greet as well. It's probably the other reason, and it was one of the other biggest surprises, was just, which I know it's not much of a surprise. I always rave about how you never know what you're going to find. When I try to explain to people who look at me like, you're going on a Disney cruise, but why would you spend that much? Why would you do this? And it's especially having a kid, like you truly don't know what's around the corner. You don't know any of that. So we were doing the Princess Gathering, and after we got done, we were walking gosh, we were going by past like Bon Voyage bar or something like that, and there's Peter Pan just literally just standing there. So Brooklyn went up and they had like a 4-minute conversation. He's down on his knees just telling this whole story about the princesses she had on her shirt and Tinkerbell and going to Neverland and just like having this full in-depth like eye contact conversation with her. And it was awesome. There was no one around. It wasn't a line. It was just, we just happened to come across it. And that same day in Nassau, we went exploring. We always like to explore. So we went up by a Meridian up to one of the top decks there, and we were by Meridian, and we walked out of this sliding door to go out onto the deck by like where the mini golf is. And right as it opens, there's Goofy standing there waving, and him and his handler, they're like, hey, you want to go play golf with Goofy? And held her hand, took her over, and she had like a 5-minute private lesson, just them and me and Goofy. It was incredible. It was so cool. Did pictures afterwards. Just like we had no idea that was going to happen. It was just something we just stumbled upon. For them to take the time out, and they could tell she was a little shy. At first she said no, and he was like, well, how about you help Goofy play golf? And then by the time they got over there, then she wanted to play. So then he ran and got a club, and Goofy's like swinging and missing and falling on the ground. And it was such a great experience. It's a video I always watch back that really shows like how special and how much care they put into taking care of like the kids with the characters and the interaction and the thought and the effort they put into, instead of just like waving and walking by, you know?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you're like you're making me smile right here as I'm listening to this story.
Yeah.
It just, those are the things that are so cool because like you guys go to the parks and all of us are kind of planners. You're planning all this like what you're going to do on the cruise and everything like that. But it's those like special moments where you don't see them coming that just really make it magical and makes you want to come back, doesn't it?
It's true. I mean, and even right after that, so we got done with that and we were talking like, how awesome is that? So we walked down the stairs, we're going under the aqueduct, and she spots Chip and Dale hanging out there. It looks like they were going to leave. So she just waves, and Chip just walks up, grabs her hand, and starts walking away with her. And I'm like, okay. So then they're like skipping, going back. So they go about 30 feet back, and it's like a new spot, I guess, where they're going to take a picture. So then Chip and Dale, they're all interacting with her, twirling around, pretending like being a princess with her and everything like that. And it was like one after another. And I was just like, this is and as one time my wife's like, I'm going to stay in the room. I'm going to shower, get cleaned up. I'm like, all right, I'm going to take Brooklyn. We're going to go explore. And the Goofy and that thing happened. And when I got back, I'm like, you will not believe what just happened. You got to watch the video. And it was like, oh, it's a shame she wasn't there. But man, it was just it was a really cool moment.
What a great moment for you and your daughter to spend that time together like that. So is she the kind that, does she get dressed up when she goes to meet the princesses, or how did you guys do that?
Not too much. I mean, she would. We do bring dresses and stuff, and then especially like Pirate Night, she loves getting dressed up in the whole pirate stuff and everything like that. So she will. A lot of times we do just like a shirt or something because it's easier, it's more comfortable to move around in. We'll have like a princess shirt or something like that. She's getting more and more. I mean, even right now, every day I come home from work and she's in a different dress twirling around and stuff. So I'm sure Bippy Boppity Boutiques in our future on our next one. Sure.
Well, let's talk about Pirate Night. Is that something that you and your wife get dressed up for us too, or how did that work out?
You know what? I already told her, I was like, this Halloween, I got to get a costume. I got to find a costume and store it away for when we go. Cause the menu may not, some people have their, reservations about the menu and stuff like that, but the feel of Pirate Night is awesome. It's just like hearing the music and just seeing grown adults and grandparents and little kids all dressed up and just like not a care in the world, dancing around, just like talking like a pirate, just not taking yourself serious at all. And with everything going on with how the world is and stuff like that, it's like, man, to go back to that moment, to go back to those days, like it's such a great feeling. It's a great time. It's one of my main reasons I love Pirate Night, is just the carefreeness of it all, and everyone like you're not going to look weird for walking around with a sword and a hat and a long coat or whatever. It's everyone's doing it.
Yeah, it's a time when as an adult you can be a kid again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I caught myself quite a few times doing that. I mean, the Mickey's Pirate League or whatever that they do up on the pool deck last year, she wanted nothing to do with it. This time she's out there dancing, singing, doing all the moves right next to one of the dancers that were out there. She's just imitating them and stuff, and me and my wife are just looking at each other smiling like this is like how awesome it is to like watch them interact and do that, and really believe like what they're doing is like pirates and Mickey and all that. It's kind of magical. It's pretty awesome.
How about the fireworks?
So I went out and watched those because she was
she asleep?
It was a little late, so we put her down to bed. my wife stayed in the room, and I wanted to, because I didn't see the pirate buffet last time, so I wanted to get some of that and fill up some plates and bring it back to the room, which you can do. So we did that. So I walked out there, caught the tail end of it. We used to, last time we watched it from our balcony. We didn't go up to there. We watched it, we put the kid down, we watched it on a balcony because we were on that side of the ship. This time being on the aft, at the very aft, couldn't see anything. I walked out there. I gave it a minute. I tried to see. I'm like, nope, can't see nothing. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go out there and I'll be right. I'll bring food back. so that's what I did for that.
Did you get a turkey leg?
No, I still can't do it. I don't know. I see it in the parks when I'm in the park. I still can't bring myself to do it. I don't know why. They look good, but I like their tacos though that they have on the ship for Pirate Night. The tacos are pretty good.
Yeah. No, I've never. I can't even talk. I've never actually had a turkey leg either, but they always look and smell really good, don't they?
They do. They look great. You're right. They smell awesome. It's just I just can't bring myself to do it for some reason.
Well, anything else that you guys did on the ship this time before we talk about the ports a little bit?
Yeah, on the ship. I mean, not really. It's just I did a mixology class.
Yeah. What did you think of that? Mixology class.
On our sea day, I did that. So it's watching someone mix drinks. Hey, you can serve me. I'll sit there and you can serve me and talk about the drinks. It's more of a, I don't want to say a seminar, but it's not. You're not making the drinks. And this wasn't even like a precaution leading up to COVID or anything like that. I heard this has been going on for about 6 or 8 months prior. They don't really. It was at one point everyone made it that it was like, they'd divide you up in little areas and like one person will go up and make a drink for that group or something like that. But now none of us really made a drink. They poured around. They made a shot at one point and they had us come down and like put something on the top and to watch it go. But it was basically them serving us drinks and telling us like the different things and what's in it, which I appreciate by all means. I mean, it was still fun and it was entertaining and informational, but people should just know you're not actually mixing the drinks.
I can't remember when we did, my wife and I did one, but it's been a while. And
right.
Yeah, you're right. They put everything up at the front. It was in the Meridian Lounge, and so
that's where we were. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So they had it like up on the bar, and then they call like, hey, who wants to make this one or who wants to make that one? And so you didn't do a lot of it. You did a little bit of it, but it sounds like it's completely changed. And probably, like you said, going forward, with the COVID stuff, it'll be
that way.
Yeah, I know. But do you think it was worth it? Would you do it again?
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I would. The guy that did it, man, was I wish I knew his name. He was incredibly knowledgeable and very good. And I have a bar at my house. I like to mix drinks. I call it Marceline Tavern after Walt from Marceline and stuff like that. So I call it Marceline Tavern, my bar. So I like to experiment and try different things too. So it was real informational and it was cool because there were a couple drinks that were pretty good. So now I knew what I needed to get to make that, and it's definitely something I'd do again.
I guess I get one last question, before we get off the ship into Nassau. Are you guys big pool people? Did you guys go on the Aqua Duck this time at all? Or
so we didn't do the Aqua Duck. We didn't do the pool that much. So we are pool people, especially here in Florida and stuff. But man, okay, so we got in the pool on Nassau Day. The kids don't listen when that poor lifeguard, which has got to be probably one of the worst jobs in this world on that ship, when you're trying to control like 55 kids that are swimming in this pool, and it's not an Olympic-sized pool by any means, right? So I was in there and I was getting kind of frustrated because the kids weren't listening, and that poor lifeguard, I looked at him, I'm like, I don't know how you do it, because he's trying to tell them to stop, and they're not. They're cannonballing off, they're jumping in, they're splashing, they're chicken fighting each other. It was just like, it was kind of like chaos.
Yeah.
And Broken was kind of like, I need to get out of here type thing. So we are pool people, but man, I really hope the Wish has a bigger pool or something like that, because there are more options for pools, because they're just a little too small and it just gets way too crowded, especially on a ship that's geared towards kids and stuff, that all the kids are going to want to go to the pool. I feel like it might be a must on these new ships.
So we were on the Norwegian Breakaway, which is roughly the same type of ship as the Wish.
Right.
But I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to have the exact same amenities or anything like that. But it's like same size-wise. But I'm like, in my mind, I went up and I would swim on there. Like, actually, it's not a lap pool whatsoever. So it's not like lap pool size, but it was definitely bigger. And then they had a pool on the back that was like an adults only area. So they'll definitely have space for. I'm with you. I hope that they can find some creative ways to maybe move the crowds around a little bit and have some different options.
That's exactly what I'm hoping for, because I absolutely love sitting out there by the pool with the the movies on. Like, it's great, and that's why we always try to stick it towards night. But right now in late February, every time at night it was always a little chilly, so we couldn't really do the pool in the evening. this time around, like we did our last one. Yeah, it's definitely something I hope they improve on.
Yeah, you and me both. So, well, let's jump to the ports. Your first stop is in Nassau. What did you guys have planned there? It sounds like you guys did some exploring.
Yeah, it was really ship exploring was our whole thing. We didn't really get off at all. I know it's somewhat of a common theme from what I see with people, but it was a great time to walk around, do princess meet and greets. We did breakfast and lunch. We met. There was an Olaf meet and greet we went and did. There was Daisy. There was just everyone, and that's where we did the Goofy, the golf. We did the mini golf with Goofy and everything like that. And we attempted the pool as well. So it was kind of just stay on the ship, explore the ship, take advantage of all the amenities and stuff that the ship has to offer.
No, it's a great day to do that. So from Nassau, then you're on to Castaway Cay. You already talked a little bit about sitting back there drinking some coffee as you backed in. How was your day in Castaway Cay?
Oh man, it was great. We were a little nervous because, like I said, it was choppy, it was windy. They canceled. We didn't have any excursions or anything planned, but I know basically everything, even Stinger, everything was canceled because the wind was pretty rough. It wasn't too bad once we were on the island, but you could see the waves crashing over the barrier out there and stuff. It was pretty rough, but it was perfect. I did the same thing I brought up last time, getting off the ship, and we get off that first tram stop, get off and grab a wagon there. And we did that this time as well, and there were still plenty. Gosh, I'm trying to think what time we got off. It was right around 8:45 we got off, and there were plenty of wagons still there. So again, it's a tip I love to tell people is get a wagon right by Mount Rushmore there. Right before you get to Mount Rushmore, there's a spot for wagons you can pick up.
Then did you guys stay kind of like closer towards the ship side of the beach, or did you walk down towards Pelican Plunge?
Yeah,
where'd you guys end up?
we stayed. We stayed closer to the ship side of the beach. We swam in the water. Gosh, she was loving it, man. We were having so much fun and just dancing in the water. She wanted to dance. We were just having a great time. And then we took a trip over to Pelican Point and went to the Heads Up bar out there. And got to watch Pelican Plunge. She wasn't all about it, but she's hopefully next year that's on her list. She keeps saying she wants to do it this time, so she's getting more brave when it comes to that stuff. So we're going to attempt that next time. But we were watching it. It's a great spot. I love probably my new favorite spot. That Heads Up bar right there at that point.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. You get a great view of the ship, great view, and looking at the beach and the lifeguards in the snorkel area, and you got Pelican Plunge over there. It's awesome. It's a great walk going up to it as well. And then once you get out there, it pays off immensely.
We went out there the last time for the first time ever, and like you said, the pictures you can get of the ship are amazing. The views are amazing, and I wish we'd got out there sooner because it's
absolutely I wish I went there the first time too, but it was cool. It gave us something to look forward to. This time going back of where we wanted to go. They make great margaritas out there too. It was a great time.
And the difference between the two slides on Pelican Plunge, right? So when you guys go for your daughter,
one's closed, right, and one's like an open air one, and the other one is closed. Yep.
The closed one's the fast one. So
is it okay?
Yeah. The first time I went down, I think I went down the slow one the first time. So I got on the second, or I went on the closed one the second time. So the fast one the second time, and it's like two turns and boom, you're in the water. I lost my sunglasses. I was like, man, that totally caught me off guard. So
that's funny.
For your daughter's sake. Yeah. Anyways, well, cool.
Thanks for that. Yeah.
So anything else about Castaway Cay? Eat at cookies?
I don't think there's a more perfect place, man. We didn't get a chance to go over. I still have never been over to Serenity Bay, just, having a child and stuff, that doesn't go
there yet either.
Yeah, I know. And I know I've heard it's changed a little bit with some of the erosion from the last hurricane and everything, but I've always wanted to go out there, but no, it's just we got a slushie or smoothie at the Frozen themed spot. She got like this Olaf jug, and they filled it up with a smoothie and everything, and she didn't let that thing go for like 3 weeks. She just held on to that everywhere she went and loved it. So that was a good investment.
That's awesome. And you know what I love about it, this cruise that you guys did, is you get that next day at sea. So like when it's a 3-day cruise and you're at Castaway Cay after that long day and you're heading back to the ship and you think like, we got dinner, we got to pack up, we got to get off it. So,
right.
And you guys got pirate night that night.
Oh, we had Pirate Night on Castaway. Castaway Night was
that's what I mean.
Pirate Night.
I'm sorry. Yep. Yeah, I'm sorry. You had Pirate Night, Castaway Cay night. So kind of the next day was like serious relaxation.
Relax. Yeah, we're not rushing to wake up. It wasn't. It was. We had there was nothing really that we're like, we need to get it. Let's just relax. Let's take it. We woke up, saw what was going on. Saw like Vampirino was meeting. And there was like Donald, Mickey, Doc McStuffins, all these characters, Fancy Nancy, and everything. So it was another just relaxing day. Go through, look at characters. I had a mixology class. We did like Pixar trivia, and it was just a really, really just it's a great way to end the vacation where you're not hustle and bustle, and it's just kind of, you can take a breath and just relax and sit out on your balcony. And we just sat out there, had some beers, and just order room service and just kind of enjoy the atmosphere and just where you're at and take it all in.
Yeah, being the second cruise for you guys too, did you definitely had that feeling of like, okay, we've done these other things before, so now you don't feel like you need to do the things, right?
Absolutely, yeah. There was the only thing, I mean, was it was great. I knew right where to go because I forgot to bring this up earlier, but we had late dining, but I wanted to change it to main. So right when we got on the ship, I knew right where to go, down right in front of Enchanted Garden, stand in line and get it changed, and it worked out perfectly. So it's like, you go on, it's like you know what you're doing even after one. It's like you have things stick and you just remember where you're at. And it was probably being on the same ship as well. I felt real comfortable knowing where I was going and where I was at.
So you guys get off the ship the next day in Port Canaveral. Any advice for people getting off in Port Canaveral then, since you've done it a couple times?
It's just as easy as getting on. Embarkation, debarkation is just as easy. Nothing real to say really on that. No.
Okay.
No, it's pretty easy.
Well, once again, this is you guys are cruise professionals now, which is awesome. So what kind of well, before I ask that, anything that we missed that you wanted to talk about, Chris?
Geez, no, just it's amazing a difference for a child from 4 to 5. Not saying you shouldn't bring a kid on when they're 4. It was still a great experience, but man, it was night and day. And we've said this is the best vacation of all time that we've taken, and I'm sure that had a lot to do with it. Just seeing how much more she was interacting, how much more she was enjoying what she was doing, and she's the one leading the charge. Like, let's go, we're going here, and she's just out marching away, like taking us where we're going and stuff. So it was, I don't know, I can't wait for the next one.
So when you guys are just kind of hanging around, what are the things that she remembers? What does she talk about, just out of curiosity, about wanting to go back on a DCL cruise?
Right, it's Castaway. She remembers, and the balcony, sitting out on the balcony, because she loves. If I'm out there, which I love to be out there, she sits out there with me and just hangs out, and we just talk and stuff. It's great bonding moments and stuff. And yeah, she knows the aqueduct, which she saw, and she still didn't get to go on this time. She didn't really want to, but it's something she is also talking about, that she's trying to be a little more braver for the next time that we're hoping we're going to do. But the characters, we have the autograph book that we got, like a special cruise one. So she has that, so she knows about getting the characters. That's one of the main things probably is the characters for sure.
That's awesome. And what a great experience too, like Peter Pan and Goofy golfing with him. Yeah.
Couldn't beat it.
Well, as we finish up then, I guess, what advice would you give to first-time cruisers, either on the Disney Dream, Disney Cruise Line? What are some of the things that you think you should pass on to people? Yeah,
I mean, first time, I'd take it easy. Don't try to cram too much in. Take it easy. Do what your kid will appreciate or adapt on the fly, which on our first one we had to do. We had to really, really adapt. If they're not digging that show and I got to move through 6 people and say, excuse me, got to go type thing, just do it. Don't be scared, because you'll pay for it later on in the evening and stuff. So it was, I think that's the most thing, is adapt and just know your family, know your child, know how they are in their certain times, and don't try to push them too much, and, kind of let them kind of dictate how you feel like your day should go. And by the second one, like I said, by the time she was 5, I felt like we could plan and we could pick anything out to do. It was much different.
Yeah, kind of like, you're going to pay for, as much as you'd want to stay up and watch the fireworks, as a family and everything like that, you're going to pay for it the next day, and maybe her day's not going to be as much fun. So yeah.
No, or night or anything. No, absolutely.
Know your family, right? Yeah. So what's next? I mean, I know things are kind of slowed down right now, and hopefully we're going to hear some news eventually when they're going to start sailing, how it's going to change. But what's next for you guys? What do you guys got planned?
So
what do you want to do?
Next, I'm so excited that we have a 7-night Eastern Caribbean, going to like St. Martin, St. Thomas, and Castaway, and it's a Star Wars Day at Sea. This has to happen. They have to figure out a way, because I am so excited, and it's already booked. I'm ready. I want to get on now, but that's for next February. I got it. I'll actually be on during the Super Bowl, so hopefully my Bucks I can watch win the Super Bowl from the fantasy, but that's another conversation.
Yeah, what do you think about Tom Brady?
So excited. Oh man. Listen, I have dealt with a lot being a Bucs fan throughout all these years, and I've never wavered. And now we got Brady and Gronk and everyone. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I'm pulling for you guys, man, because I'm a Seahawks fan, and I mean, but the Seahawks and the Bucs came into the league at the same time. So I've always had this I don't know, from afar, I've always kind of pulled for the Bucs. So I hope you guys do it.
Great, yeah. And I'm a Russell Wilson fan. I think he's a great person, and as long as a great player, I love him, so I pull for him as well.
Yeah, well, hopefully you guys are watching the Bucs win the Super Bowl there on the fantasy. So, and are you a huge Star Wars fan?
Yes, absolutely. I am. I grew up with the movies. I'm trying to get the little one into them now. She looks at Darth Vader a little sideways, but I'm trying to change that. And I'm insanely huge. And I'm like, it's like, are the characters still going to be roaming around, or Jawa's going to be out there? Are they going to? Man, I don't know. It's okay. Regardless, I just want to be on. I don't even care at this point. It can be, it can just be a Disney Junior day at sea for all I care. I just want to be on one and enjoy it and just be on Disney cruise at this point.
Well, I love your passion, because I wish I think all of us feel the same thing. So, well, as we kind of finish up tonight, Chris, thank you so much for coming back on and sharing your experiences on the Disney Dream. I'm glad you guys had just an amazing cruise, and I've got my fingers crossed. I know that's going to happen for you in February.
Thanks. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, all the best to your family, and we will talk to you after that Star Wars Day at Sea cruise.
You got it.
Well, that's going to wrap up our show today. Once again, I really want to thank Chris for coming on again and sharing his and his family's experience as they sailed on the beautiful Disney Dream for 4 days down in the Caribbean. And how cool is that to see your daughter hanging out with Peter Pan or playing a little mini golf with Goofy? Just a fun cruise for them. And just kind of an old school cruise report. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hopefully we will have some again soon, now that the CDC has released the no sail order and given the cruise lines kind of some directions to work with them on getting the ships back on the water. So we will kind of, hold our breath and see what happens next. We'd also like to remind everybody that this Thanksgiving week, we are combining forces with the guys over at Rope Drop Radio and Brian and Sam at the DCL Duo in hosting the virtual Turkey Lurkey 5K. You can find out more information by going to Facebook, and we will, the week before, we'll make sure that we get some information out again as well. Also look for a bonus episode where we talk about Turkey Lurkey, both Chris and Christy and I talking about all the fun that hopefully you guys will join us in that virtual race this coming Thanksgiving week. If you would like to participate in our show, you can reach out to me, Steve, at DCLpodcast.com, and we'll get you set up to talk about your Disney Cruise Line Adventures by Disney or Run Disney experience. If you're enjoying this show, you can thank all our Patreon members who help support bringing it to you each and every week. If you'd like to become a Patreon member or find out more about that, you can go over to patreon.com/DCLpodcast and find out all the information there. Well, between now and our next show, if you are heading out on some type of vacation with your family, I know the holidays are coming up, Thanksgiving's coming up. On behalf of myself, Steve, Christy, and Chris, all of us here at the DCL Podcast, we want to wish you just be safe out there if you're traveling. Be well, take care of each other, have a great time, and enjoy your time with your family. And we will see you next time on the DCL Podcast. The DCL Podcast is not affiliated with the Disney Cruise Line, Walt Disney Company, Adventures by Disney, or Run Disney. All of the opinions expressed on our shows are those of the hosts and the guests who appear on the show. If you have any questions about any of these products, please contact the Walt Disney Company.